Had a moment where you suddenly realized you're not as slow as you once thought? Maybe you connected ideas faster, solved a problem that used to confuse you, or understood someone on a deeper level than before. That moment doesn't come from luck. It comes from habits, not the loud motivational kind, but quiet ones. The kind that slowly reshape the way your brain thinks without you even noticing. Today, I want to tell you a story about 7 habits that don't just make you feel smarter, they actually change the way your mind works. And by the end of this video, you may realize you've already started practicing one of them. Habit 1. Spending time in deep silence. Most people are scared of silence. They fill every empty moment with noise, scrolling, music, talking, distraction. But the brain does something powerful when it's quiet. In silence, your mind stops reacting and starts connecting. Thoughts that were scattered begin organizing themselves. Memories strengthen. Ideas link together. Psychologists have found that moments of quiet reflection help the brain process information more deeply, improving reasoning and creativity. The smartest minds in history weren't always talking. They were thinking. Even just a few minutes a day. No phone, no sound can slowly sharpen how clearly you think. Habit 2. Letting yourself be curious. Without a goal. Most people learn only to finish tasks. Smart people learn because they're curious. Curiosity activates multiple parts of the brain at once. It keeps your mind flexible, open, and hungry. When you explore something just because it interests you, not because it's useful, your brain forms stronger connections. You stop memorizing information and start understanding it. That's why people who ask random questions often appear more intelligent. They're training their minds to explore, not just perform. Habit 3. Slowing down your reactions. Think about how quickly most people react emotionally. A comment, a message, a small disagreement, instant response. But intelligence often lives in the pause. When you delay your reaction even by a few seconds, your brain changes gears. It moves from emotion to reasoning. This habit strengthens emotional control, problem solving, and clarity of thought. The smartest people aren't the loudest in the room. They're the ones who pause, observe, and respond intentionally. That pause is mental strength in action. Habit 4. Teaching what you're learning, even to yourself. You don't fully understand something until you can explain it simply. When you try to teach, even if it's just speaking out loud to yourself, your brain reorganizes information more efficiently. It fills in gaps. It exposes confusion. It deepens understanding. That's why explaining ideas, journaling thoughts, or even pretending to teach someone else makes your intelligence grow faster than passive learning ever could. Knowledge sticks when it's shared. Habit 5. Spending time with people. Slightly smarter than you, not intimidating. Not overwhelming. Just people who challenge your thinking a little. When you're around minds that think differently or more deeply, your brain adapts. You begin to ask better questions. You notice new patterns. Growth happens at the edge of comfort, not in competition, but in exposure. And over time, you don't just catch up, you evolve. Habit 6. Letting your mind wander on purpose. Daydreaming gets a bad reputation, but controlled mind wandering is where creativity lives. When your mind drifts, it connects ideas that logic would never put together. This is where insights appear out of nowhere, where solutions suddenly click. Many breakthroughs don't come from intense focus. They come while walking, showering, or staring out a window. Your brain needs space to wander before it can innovate. Habit 7. Reflecting on your own thinking. This is the habit most people never develop. It's called metacognition, thinking about how you think. When you reflect on your decisions, your reactions, your assumptions, your mistakes, your brain starts improving its own process. You become aware of patterns that used to control you unconsciously, and awareness is intelligence in its purest form. Once you see how your mind works, you stop being trapped by it. Here's the truth. Most people never hear. IQ isn't just a number you're born with. It's a skill that quietly grows through habits, awareness, and intention. You don't need to be a genius. You just need to think a little differently consistently. And if you've made it this far, there's a good chance you already are. If this video made you pause, reflect, or see yourself differently, that's your mind growing. And that's just the beginning.